Once again, time for an audio test and checking how we're going. Welcome to the stream, all you lovely viewers. No one at the moment, obviously. It is European morning. Evening for New Zealand. It is 8 o'clock on the dot, and we begin week 3 of our Tour de France playthrough. Oh, perfect. Loving that audio sound. Let me just get Shadow Play NVIDIA up. There it is there, NVIDIA broadcast. Not Shadow Play. Get that noise removal from the background happening. Anyway, let's have a look at our Tour de France to see what stages we are expecting to face today. And so the first stage of the final 7, NSE to Arc 2000. Category 1 climb, looks like Horse category climb there. Yes, at the end, mountainy stage. Stage 16, we have 2 category 1 climbs finishing up the Colombier. Whoa, looks like some tough days racing for our riders. Stage 17 says it's a medium mountain stage. A few categories, 4, 2, 1. Big mix of climbs through there. Then it ends with some wind zones and a probably punchy sprint. Might be a day for the GC riders. Just through Germany. Interesting end to the Tour de France there. Stage 18, pretty pan-flat day for the sprinters to get some more intermediate sprint points, which that classification is very highly contested with Jonathan Milan and Jasper Philipsen. Up the final hill of that stage, La Planche, these Bells, Fields, and of course, butchering all the French names as per always. Stage 19, bit of a punchy day, could be a day for a breakaway, not expecting too many GC gaps then. Stage 20, pan flat with some cobble sectors, orange cobbles, we'll have a look when we get to that stage how bad those cobbles are. And the final stage, of course, is the Champs-Élysées stage in Paris with 1 intermediate sprint and final sprint points there. Let's remind ourselves of who is in each jersey currently. Currently leading the overall, we have Tadej Pogačar in first, Alexander Vlasov sitting in second, Remco Evenepoel, Vingegaard, Pidcock, Dunbar. You see it all here. Vingegaard's 2 minutes 23 down, so Pogačar's got a great hold on the race. The points classification, Philipsen, Milan, and Pedersen. Well, more so Milan and Philipsen, 7 points separating them. Pedersen a little bit further behind, what's that, like around 60 points, and Poggi 150 points behind, but he could get that if he wins all those mountain stages. Mountain points, Grobschatten is winning 20 points ahead of Alex Baudon of Quickstep. We then have Dimension Data Rider in third, so still it looks like it could be anyone's game there to play for, and the young rider of course is Remco Evenepoel ahead of Pidcock and Rodriguez. Leading the team classification is the Belgian Team Lotto. Let's just double check the settings here. Normal difficulty, frequency of falls 1, coefficient 1, and 3, race day condition. Looking at the favourites for the stage, it's a mountain stage. Of course, Pogačar, Vingegaard, Carapaz, Rodriguez, Evenepoel, and the likes of that. I, of course, will be rooting for Alexander Vlasov, the rider from my Mapai GB team, but who really knows what's going to happen? So in that case, I'm not going to pick my rider, not going to be too biased. I'm going to say Evenepoel is going to do some sort of sneaky business here. Try and move up into the yellow jersey. Let's get that stage loading now. Music's probably a bit loud in the background. Turn it down ever so slightly. Hope you Europeans are having a great morning. It's been an alright day for me. Went outside, did some racing, got smacked in the race, but had some fun out in the sunshine. In the end, that is all what matters. It's good to be back doing this commentating. I did miss it. I was away for a bit from the sim game. Life just, you know how life is, lads. Life gets in the way of doing what we want. Hey, 5 people on the video. Welcome. Welcome, peeps. Hopefully the podiums do generate. We did have the bug yesterday. Yep, it just took a little bit longer to load. Here we go. Team textures. Only 19 teams in this tour. Here we are. Let's have a look at the start lines. Just quickly go through those jerseys once again. There's Grobschatten in the KOM, Philipsen in the green, Pogačar in yellow for Credit Agricole, and Evenepoel in the white for Team T-Mobile Bianchi. Let's get our labels up so we can see who the riders are, the top 10 in each classification for ease of viewing. Small wind already, 12 kilometers from the right-hand side of the road. Look at the map, we'll be starting from here. Might be a little bit of a crosswind through here, but we're finishing at the top of a mountain. It's not too bad. And Grobschatten is the first in the break. Remember, he's in the KOM jersey. I don't think it's going to be a hang-on to these points here. We might see some of the GC riders get back into the lead there. Looks like to be a big breakaway going up the road. We see Romo there, who's in the top 10 for the youth classification. getting up there, but also we see that some of the domestics working on the front. Pogacar looks to be chasing down. David Godu is going on the attack, the leader for the Benfica squad, who's 15th overall. It's all come back together now as another small group goes up the road. Who's this? Lotti's trying to get across. He's currently 19th overall, and the big bunch of riders is trying to go up the road again, and they have been allowed to escape this time. So it seems like Butrago and Romo were possibly those riders which were not allowed to go up the road. Let's have a look. The breakaway has got 1:20. Let's go through who's in the breakaway, and then we'll speed up this simulation. We've got the Virtua from Quickstep, Mogadou from Farm Frights, Bilbao, Netherlands, Lottery, Lotti for Groupama FDJ, Magnus Kort Nielsen for HTC, Sivakov. He's pretty close in the top in the overall of the race, 11th, just outside the top 10 there. He's the leader for Intermarché, Wanty. Grosscharder, of course, we talked about before. Le Surf, one of the domestics for the Bahrain squad. Carboni, maybe he's here to help Bilbao. De Plus is sitting in 13th for Bahrain. We looked at Virtua before. Hughes for Bora, Juan Pedro Lopez for Farm Fritz, David Godu, of course, and Louis Minkies. This is actually a quite strong looking breakaway if they can make it all the way. Front of the peloton being led by Credit Agricole. They're of course working for the leader Tadej Pogacar. He's in yellow and he's keeping safe. Looking at the peloton here, even the pole's setting up towards the front. Rodriguez looks to be protected by Vantal. We see Vlasov actually being protected by someone. Matteo Moschetti, the Italian sprinter, protecting Alexander Vlasov. Sprinters here also. Groenewegen, De Lee up near the front. Lamperty looks to be protecting Tom Pidcock. Ben Healy, of course, outside of the top 10 now. Heading back to the breakaway, they're all working quite nicely together. The wind is reduced in strength now to 6 kilometers an hour from the right-hand side. It's a little bit of crosswind, a little bit of cross-tailwind, nothing too major. The gap's only 2 minutes, so it's definitely going to be a day for the GC contenders, as they're not letting the breakaway get out of sight too much. Lamperty's doing some big work now for Team Sky. Pidcock must be on a good day. Bringing up the start list once again. Team Sky, of course, they've got Pidcock and Healy, I think, but Pidcock is the slightly better rider. He is 5th overall. Don't forget, Lamperty's won a stage already in this tour. First point of interest on the road will be an intermediate sprint point. 20 points on offer and 3 bonus seconds. Well, the bonus seconds will mean too much at this point in the race. The gap to the breakaway is increasing. It's now up to 5 minutes. Interesting choice by the Credit Agricole team. Best place rider, like we said, was Pavel Sivakov of Intermarché. He is 8 minutes down. Gap is not quite 8 minutes, so it's not going to be a problem. There was a small attack. Nope, Lamperty was just pushing the pace up this little hill. A little bit of echelon action happening here, but nothing too serious. A few riders on the back not doing any work. Virtua from Team Quickstick Energetic and Magnus Kort Nielsen from HTC High Road. 5 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. I don't expect anyone in here to be sprinting for it, because I don't think anyone's high up in that classification. Maybe Minkies want some bonus seconds. A little bit of undulating terrain here. We won't know till about 1 kilometer to go whether anyone will be sprinting for it, and no one is. No one's going for these points here. Will be 1 point left for the peloton. Will we see Jasper Philipsen come out of the group to sprint for that 1 point? Maybe. Harry Sweeney's here. Bauhaus is here. Jonathan Milan looks to be going for this point. That's a rare occurrence by Milan going for some intermediate sprints. There is Milan on the left-hand side of the road. Philipsen getting blocked by his own lead-out. Milan takes 1 point. That reduces the gap between them, Philipsen and Milan, to 6 points now rather than 7. Right, to start the Category 1 climb, it is Arc 1600. We say goodbye to Le Surf. Carboni is gone too from the breakaway. Peloton still being led by Credit Agricole, but Netherlands Lottery here for Jonas Vingegaard, also up towards the front. Oh, Mogadou, the Portuguese rider from Hogard Farm Frights, not doing the greatest so far. We'll increase simulation speed just ever so slightly. Zoom out a bit just to get a bit more of the ambience of the hill. What some beautiful terrain. Can't wait for PCM 25 where we can get some even better graphics. Virtua, who spent the day at the back of the breakaway not pulling turns, has dropped from this breakaway. Let's grab Sivakov because he's the best placed rider, right? And let's get over to Tadej Pogacar. Where is Pogacar? He's there. time gap between them, 5:37. So at the moment, looks like Sivakov could be riding himself into the top 10, but not into the yellow jersey. 3 kilometers to the top now. We're expecting a small attack. Yep, Juan Pedro Lopez launches an attack, and Groschartner at the mountain jersey has been dropped, as is Kurt Nielsen and Hughes. De Plus has got a small gap now. He is the, I guess, leader, as but Trago's not doing too well in the GC, right? For Team Bahrain Victorious, but Trago's 21st, 15 minutes down. De Plus goes once again as Lopez, who was forced to counter. Lopez is now in front of De Plus as they're going towards the line here. All these riders are very, very dead, and worse for wear, Lopez takes maximum points over the top. Groschardt is still gaining some points in the points classification, in the mountain classification. Perhaps holding on to his lead, he is. He gains 3 points in that classification, extending his lead over Alex Bolden. Small plateau, little bit of a hill over the top before we descend towards the Arc 2000. Interesting name for a hill. Small group of 6 riders out in front. Remember Lopez, Godu, and attack by Vengagor in the peloton. Let's have a look what's happening here. Evenepoel, Vengagor, and Roman Bardet have launched an attack over the top of this hill. The rest of the favourites are in the group behind. Abrahamson for Team HTC. The domestic for Carlos Rodriguez is the first to react. He's also sending Axel Lawrence up the road. Tadej Pogačar and Alexander Vlasov are next in line. Skelmoser and Dunbar, they're also everyone in the top 10 still looking strong. Vlasov has got Donovan. Hopefully he gets up there to help him, but the gap is 12 seconds. Evenepoel is pushing on. And they've been caught. Nice cheeky attack by Vengagor. What will happen up the next hill? Looking back down the road, some more domestics are coming back. We've got Corbin Strong here, Rukanov, Sergio Higuita, all the Ineos train. Mads Pedersen still doing well, 39th overall, third in that points classification. Heading back to the front of the race, it's almost all come back together in the break. There's 40 seconds between the Groschartner group and the Lopez group. The gap is 4 minutes to the peloton. It's definitely a day for the GC riders. Once they get to this hill, the gap will only just melt away. We see an attack from inside the breakaway here. It is Lawrence Hughes of Team Bora Hansgrohe. He's launched an attack away from Groschardt and Kurt Nielsen. But the peloton's closing in, being led by Team Lotto. Florian Vermeesch and Piganzoli doing a lot of the work here for not Van Gils, but Jorgensen. Matteo Jorgensen, the American, is their leader. Whereas Vlasov sitting near the back of the peloton with Mark Donovan and Jakob Fuglsang. 2 minutes 40 is the gap. This time instead of turning right up that climb, I think we're continuing straight on. It's the same climb as before, just a different road. We zoom out to get a better view of what's happening. Interesting turn there. I don't know what those riders are up to. We look down to the city below and we look up of the monster that awaits us. 13 kilometers to go now. Looks like Groschartner has been caught by the peloton he has, and he's gone straight out the back with Kurt Nielsen. Florian Vermeesch has also gone for Team Lotto. Lawrence Hughes now dropping out the back of the peloton. There's only 2 minutes separating the Pogačar group and the Sivakov group. Aerlotti's been dropped from the front. Giovanni Aerlotti for Groupama FDJ. Will he have some energy left to help Richard Carapaz, his leader, in this competition? Not quite sure as of yet. Evenepoel's looking a little bit slow towards the race. Vlasov still in a great position with Fuglsang there. He needs to move up the bunch though, to be honest, in my opinion. The gap is now a minute between these groups. Will we see an attack from someone in the breakaway? Maybe Bilbao will do something. A small attack from the peloton. Eddie Dunbar has launched an attack. Carlos Rodriguez, Skelmoser and the Roman Bardet are following. It is Vlasov and Vinokurov on the top, the two Easterners, helping to bring this all back together. Vlasov must be feeling strong if he's closing the gap. He's taking Pogačar across with him. Skelmoser counters as the Pogačar group catches back up. Dunbar goes again. And Richard Carapaz on the left-hand side of the road with a dive attack, with Nico Vinokurov just blocking the way for everyone else. Looking up the road, it's all coming back together. It's all one group now at the front of the race. Kwiatkowski has been dropped, Donovan, Romo. There's 23 riders here with 9 kilometers to go. Carapaz goes again. Carapaz won a stage like this earlier in the tour. Skelmoza Bade, Vingegor. Vingegor's the danger move here. Pogacar, he's bringing Vlasov back. After Vlasov did some work to close that last gap, Pogacar wants to follow him. Skelmoza is 7 minutes down, Bade is 8, and so Carapaz is also 8 down, so there's no super big threat to the overall. Vlasov has now been dropped from the Pogacar group. Vlasov now gets in the wheel of Dunbar and Evenepoel. Pogacar and Vingegor right up to Skelmoza and Carapaz as Bade rides away. Let's get a time gap between Pogacar and Vlasov because I am biased as hell. Carapaz attacks off the front as the Pogacar group has been caught by Evenepoel and the rest of the GC contenders. Bade still lone solo rider out in front, 40 seconds ahead of Carapaz, who is 20 seconds ahead of this bunch. Dropped from the GC contenders, Lipovitz and Butrago. Any riders here struggling? Van Giels is struggling. De Plus, Pidcock is looking worse for wear. An attack by Pogacar. The riders are being stretched out across the road. Team Sky is hanging on for dear life. Carapaz has been caught. It's just Romain Bardet who's out in front. Carapaz goes again. Only to be distanced by Tadej Pogacar. Vlasov jumping across the gap that Dunbar left as he is looking dead. Evenepoel. Remco Evenepoel is out of energy. Third place in the race so far. Pogacar is breaking the race apart. He's running up to Romain Bardet. Skelmos is gone. Jorgensen is the only one left with energy. Vlasov's gone. Carapaz is gone. Sivakov is gone. Heading back up the road. 1 kilometer to go. Romain Bardet versus Pogacar versus Vingegaard. Jorgensen makes it back. The Lotto rider. He had the most domestics left in the end when it mattered. Pogacar now launches 400 meters to go. It's coming down to a sprint. Can Jorgensen sprint around him? Vingegaard dies, loses more time as Tadej Pogacar takes the win. Romain Bardet just edging out Matteo Jorgensen. Skelmos and Goldu have 5th and 6th. Vlasov being distanced in the final 200 meters, losing time to Carapaz, Juan Pedro Lopez, Pavel Sivakov, and Louis Minkes looks to be rising up in the GC there. Evenepoel behind Vlasov, Dunbar, Rodriguez, Bilbao. Here's Pidcock. Pidcock is one of the big losers of the day. 5th position overall. He'll be losing a lot of time to Tadej Pogacar and the other GC contenders. Running at the top 20 is Maxime Van Giels. Going down the hill we have Lipovitz, Butrago. Let's speed up the simulation rate. And let's get to the end of the stage. Who is the last rider on the course? It's going to be Muschietti again, isn't it? Nope. Lamperty and Cockard. One and a half Ks to go for these two riders. Here they go now. They finish 57 minutes down. Here we have the replay there. Pogacar showing his class, sprinting to victory ahead of Romain Bardet and Matteo Jorgensen. At the same time, Vingegaard is in 17 seconds. The Carapaz group losing 1:56. Looking at the GC, Vlasov drops from 2nd to 3rd. Vingegaard moving up to 2nd. Remco in 4th. 7 seconds behind Vlasov. Dunbar, Pidcock, big rearrangement in the top 10 there. Bardet moves himself into the top 10. Felix Groschartner still in that mountain jersey, no major change there. Points, Philipsen still in the green. We saw that 1 point gain by Milan. Evenepoel still in the youth, this time extending his lead over Tom Pidcock, and Lotto still in the team classification. I see the time gaps there of the GC contenders. Vlasov losing 2 minutes 9 seconds to Pogacar, but gaining time on the Remco Evenepoel. Looking at the GC, there's the changes there. Vingegaard up 2, Vlasov down 1, Evenepoel down 1, Dunbar up, Pidcock down, Rodriguez holding strong, Jorgensen up, Bardet enters the top 10, Carapaz exits, Skelmoza just losing out then. No major change across there. Let's get into stage 16, one of the last mountain stages on the race. I said Remco was going to win. I think he's got it this time. A little bit of rest here. Some category 1 climbs. Let's get into it. Back to the name tags once again. Groschartner, one of the first riders to get into the breakaway. This time he's joined by Lipovitz, De Plus, Godou, and Gamper tries, but still sits up. We'll wait for some of these more riders to get into the breakaway before we read the names off. Let's have a look at these hills up close. Whew, what a tough hill. Montjuichat, average 9.4%, max 18.2%. And the final climb of the day, Grand Colombier, 17Ks, 7.5% average. Riders are all over the road as the breakaway tries to form. 17 riders trying to get away, but Team Sky is not letting that happen. Riccatello, who's the best placed rider, I reckon Godou maybe is 13th, De Plus 14th, Sivakov there 12th. Let's increase the simulation speed just a little bit to see if this breakaway does eventually get away. Whereas Sky and Credit Agricole using all their domestics for nothing. The gap is 30 seconds. It's been like this for the past 20-30 Ks, I want to say. Gap is slowly increasing, but it is just because the Team Sky riders cannot keep up with working on the front. Anyway, here let's have a look at the 17 riders. Bilbao, Gibbons, Groschartner, Lipovitz, Kostyou, Godou, Sivakov, Gamper, Steinhauser, Gelders, Milberger, Busto, Butrago, Dox, De Plus, Riccatello, Seneschal, and another group trying to get across. Minkies, Eolotti, Youngles, Pollitt, Kwiatkowski, Bargy, Plankart, Cornelsen, Izagirre, Gigat, Bjerg, Bennett, Gilmartin, Le Surf, Donovan, what the fuck? Higita, Fogelsang, Schultz, Vinokurov, Lopez, what the fuck is happening here? Josh Tarling has been sent by Team Sky to chase down this breakaway. It's now up to Lamperty now, back again, Team Sky at the front, trying to chase these groups down. There's a large number of riders off the front of the peloton. Credit Agricole take up the pacemaker now for Tadej Pogačar. There's quite a few bunches here on the road. Interesting, I don't know why there's so many riders up the road. But I'm also pretty pissed that there's this many Mapai riders up the road. Ah, someone's typing something. Ah, it is Pete. Hey, Pete. Pretty sure that's you, Pete. I don't know. If not, it's someone. 28 riders up the road, 2 minutes 30 is the gap. Still Credit Agricole on the front. Fall by Milan and Blikra. Is Bahrain sending the rider back? No, but Blikra is blocking Milan. Maybe Milan will not catch up. Keep an eye on them because that's on the exciting bit at the moment. They have caught up, heading back to the front of the breakaway. Terrain's a little bit bumpy as we get to the first intermediate sprint. 15 lots of points on offer. The breakaway will take them all. No one of any consequence in the breakaway, but we will see if someone sprints for it. Ah, yeah, it is you, Pete. All good. I forget who is who. Is everyone, you know, names and all. There we go, intermediate sprint now, 3 kilometers to go. We'll slow it down at about 1k because that's when the riders start to sprint, and no one's sprinting. But Cornelsen takes maximum points, followed by Sivakov and Youngles. Looking at the right hand side, no changes in that classification. Still Philipsen and Milan 6 points apart. We're about to start the first climb of the day, the Category 1 climb, the Mont Duchet, average 9.4%, max 18.2%. Wouldn't that be a great, wouldn't that be a great climb to do? Riders have been dropped from the breakaway as they cannot handle the pace. Say goodbye to Patrick Gamper, Florian Seneschal, Gelders and Magnus Kort Nielsen. Peloton being led by David Gaudu and Florian Lipovitz. Did the Kwiatkowski group sit up or something? Because there was 32 riders at one point. I must have fast forwarded that, but exciting. Bussato now being dropped. Ryan Gibbons, the sprinter for Team Dimension Data. Is Ryan Gibbons right? Yeah. Don't know why Youngles is sitting here outside the draft. Some of the Farm Frights riders looking a little bit worse for wear. We say goodbye to Eddie Plancart now for Team Quickstep Energetic. Bob Youngles, Ion Izagirre, Docs, Sivakov hanging on for grim life. Everyone's kind of bustling up the hill here. Goodbye to Niels Pollitt. Steinhauser, goodbye to him. Riccatello, Sivakov distant. Gigat, De Plus, Kwiatkowski, there he is there. The pace is ferocious, being set by Florian Lipovitz, Warren Barguil, and David Gaudu. Goodbye to Aelotti. Groschartner gone. Menkes and Barguil. The pace is literally blowing this breakaway apart. Goodbye to Kostyuk. Mikael Bjerg is gone. Slowing down this 500 meters to the top of the climb. Bilbao and Gaudu are dead, and Lipovitz is going to take maximum points here. He's going to take the 15 points.
They're heading downhill, so they've got to make sure to keep...
Interesting. Anyway. What's happening in the peloton? Anything exciting, or is it just a breakaway all over the road? Peloton is being thinned out. Let's get a time gap origin. Let's head back right to the start. Who's at the front? Lipovitz is at the front. 9 minutes 58 is the advantage. Best place here is David Gaudu. He's 11:36, so potentially Gaudu could be riding either into yellow or into the top 10 of the GC. Let's speed it up a bit over this hill. Nothing too major happening. Group of 4 will increase in riders ever so slightly as we continue on the descent. Seven riders will become maybe 9, maybe not. Maybe not. Heading back, let's double check what's happening in the peloton. 34 riders still led by Credit Agricole. Vlasov's there with Ricardo Vingegaard, Evenepoel, Rodriguez, the few domestics left. Roman Bardet, Skelmoser, Dunbar for Team Lotto. George Bennett for Team Benfica. Remember, he was in the early break earlier in the stage. Back to the front, 7 riders about to start the final climb of the day. The Grand Colombia. 17 kilometers, 7.5%. Bilbao launches straight away. Gaudu into his wheel, but Trago, Lipovitz, Groschartner still hanging on for dear life as he wants to maintain his mountain jersey. David Gaudu goes once again. Lipovitz on the right hand side of the road, but Trago is the first to react. Bilbao into the wheel. Gaudu has nothing to react with. He's just chilling with this second bunch of riders. Florian Lipovitz drops Butrago and Bilbao. Lipovitz on a great day here. 12 kilometers to go to the top. The steeper sections are at the bottom of the climb. As we see, we're going through a section of about 12.5% now. That's the black line on the climb. And it only gets shallower as we see the red sections towards the top and then some more green. Lipovitz got a slim 20-second lead over Bilbao and Butrago, who are 23 seconds ahead of Gaudu, who has attacked Bjerg, Groschartner and Kostyuk. Bjerg doing really well for a time trialist. Ten kilometers to the top now. Gaudu has caught the Butrago and Bilbao group. Meanwhile, in the peloton is Jonas Vingegaard, who has attacked the GC contenders. Who is going to react? It is Roman Bardet, who is 9th overall, Carapaz and Dunbar. Ben Healy is working on the front for Tom Pidcock to try and bring this all back together. Who else has got domestics left? Lotto's a lot of red in this peloton. I'm seeing some Lotto and Benfica riders. Louis Menkes, who had a great day yesterday, he's falling back through the peloton, unfortunately. Vingegaard, Bardet is almost up with Vingegaard at the front. There's 10 seconds separating them. 20 seconds ahead of the peloton, being led by Tadej Pogacar. The yellow jerseys having to chase himself. The white jersey of Remco Evenepoel was doing well on the right hand side. Eddie Dunbar trying to do a sneaky attack there. Abrahamson from HTC High Road saw the attack coming. He is neutralizing it for his leader Rodriguez. At the front of the race, Lipovets has now got a 2-minute 40 lead over the Godu group. Interesting move by them. We see Vingegaard just about to be caught by Eddie Dunbar, who's towing Tadej Pogacar and the likes all back together. Still a lot of red here. Victor Campenaerts still here. We see Carlos Rodriguez and Skelmos are starting something, taking Abrahamson and Carapaz with them. Rodriguez, of course, having his domestic in Abrahamson. Maybe he'll be there to tow him up the slopes of the climb. Grossschartner has been caught. The Pogacar group is not reacting. Kevin Vaquelin for Team Arkea B&B working for Roman Bardet. They're doing a bit of work on the front now. Ben Healy's dead. All these domestics towards the back of the pack. They're looking very, very worse for wear. Abrahamson has been dropped from the Rodriguez group. Rodriguez group has caught Bjerg and Barguil from the original breakaway. Looking up the road, it is Godu and Bilbao who are distancing Butrago with 2.3 km to go. Lipovets still out in front. Vingegaard goes once again at the back. He's trying to jump across to the Rodriguez group. Carapaz has been dropped from there. What's happening in the Pogacar group? Where's Vlasov? Vlasov is dead. Ah, for fuck's sake. Jorgensen and Dunbar also dead. Pogacar looks to be the only one with energy. Back up the road, Lipovets has just taken the stage win. Godu and Bilbao will sprint it out. Back down the road, Pogacar is closing in. There goes Godu, he's the first to launch the sprint. Bilbao cannot come around him. David Godu taking second in stage 16 of the tour. Yes. Butrago might be able to hang on, but Pogacar is pushing on. Rodriguez has now been distanced from them. Bardet, Pogacar, Vingegaard, a three-way sprint. Bardet will be moving up the top 10 placings.
We're waiting for the back markers who appear to be fairly numerous in this difficult race.
Pidcock, Evenepoel, Bjerg there, Carapaz, but where is my boy Vlasov? There he is there, he's in the Dunbar group. Hopefully, oh, never mind, he can't sprint with the Dunbar group, so Dunbar is going to be gaining probably 20 seconds, and then Vlasov is going to be dropping through the top 10 standings. How good. How good. Anyway, let's split the simulation rate. Who's at the very back? It is Cockard and Lamperty once again. Further up the home, we have the Gruppetto. Dylan Groenewegen, Matteo Moschetti, Tim Miller. Further up the hill is Vermont, Van Unden, Brenner. No one really big, so there's DeLee and Steimler. Interesting stage 16. Not what I wanted to happen, but it did happen. Vlasov losing more time. God damn it. Here's the podium. Florian Lipovets takes the stage. 2 minutes 26 ahead of David Godu. And 3 minutes 49 ahead of Pogacar. Looking at the GC, Vlasov slips to 4th, Bardet up to 5th. Pidcock drops, Rodriguez drops. Small changes in the top 10. Godu back in the top 10, I want to say. Best climber, Godu up into 3rd. Grossschartner still staying where he is in 1st. Points classification, still Philipsen, no change there. Youth, I think an extension of his lead, Evenepoel did. Rodriguez getting closer here. Team, no change. Yes, Evenepoel up 1, Vlasov down 1, Bardet up 4, Skelmos up 4 from 10th to 8th. Dunbar down 4, losing out, down to 9th. Godu up into the top 10. Jorgensen out of the top 10. And Sivakov dropping further away. No change in the top of here, like we said. Godu up to 3rd. Youth, no change. And T-Mobile Bianchi overtaking HTC High Road to take 2nd in that team classification. Stage 17, the mountain stage is now behind us, although this looks pretty mountainous. Maybe a punchy kind of stage, I want to say. So in that case, I'm going to say Thomas Pidcock. He's looking pretty bad in terms of his recovery. Yeah, he's getting some great fatigue there, unfortunately. So I think Jorgensen's going to take the win this stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. It's an undulating route, so it will be a tactical race.
Let's get that all going. We'll let the breakaway go as I just check.
He's making a break for it. Will it prove to be too early? Breakaway at the front.
Who's talking? Pidcock still in 6th is a miracle. Yeah, I mean, his recovery stat was it 71 or something? Apologies, lads. Bit distracted here. Pidcock in 6th, his recovery is 71. He's doing really well. Although everyone's saying that everyone's recovery is kind of shitty these days. I mean, Vlasov still being... I mean, to be fair, yeah, Pidcock's got 75 mountain. But anyway, it looks like there's a small breakaway up the road. Don't know this guy's first name, but Marie from Intermarché, Philip Maestrak of Bahrain Victorious, Romo from Bora Hansgrohe, and Felix Grossschartner from Red Bull KTM. There's quite a few mountain points on offer, so it's a great day to be in the breakaway. 3 minutes is the gap, but they won't get too much of a lead, but they'll get enough of a lead to gain these mountain points. Team Sky, Credit Agricole, Team Milram, and Netherlands Lottery on the front. First climb is a Category 4 climb, meaning 3 lots of points on offer. 3, 2, and 1. 700 meters to go. Grossschartner launches the sprint first, but he tries to come around him, as does Romo. He does the... I think Grossschartner took second there. First, 3 points, extending his lead. Split simulation to the next hill, and let's get it on. Category 2 climb, meaning the first 8 positions gain points. So 4 from the breakaway, 4 from the peloton. The gap is 7 minutes 30. There's 160 k's to go, so I'm still counting on a peloton win for this stage. $1K to go. What's going to happen? Grossschartner launches first. Maestrak in his wheel. Romo trying to sprint around on the outside, but Grossschartner taking 10 points there, extending his lead. Let's head back to the peloton, see if anyone else is going to jump out. What's happening there? Didn't mean to do that. Trying to jump to the peloton. We've got 3 Ks to go to that KOM point. Is anyone else coming up to take the points? Nope, they're just rolling over. Grossschartner extends his lead to Bodan and Godu nowhere in sight. There's a lot of points on offer today. So Grossschartner could almost win his mountain jersey here. Oh, rider has been dropped or fallen. Jorgensen has been dropped for Team Bora on this descent. Oh, the descents could cause some troubles in this stage. A lot of trees in the fauna blocking the view of the camera. Apologies, lads. Don't make the stage, I don't know what to expect. Category 1 climb, significant points on offer here. 15 points, Romo is the first to go. Marie is the second. They distance the Polish rider from Bahrain Victorious, the Polish TT champion. Grossschartner doesn't really try to go around. He's happy with third at that point there. Keep a close eye on this. It's going to be a pretty tough day. Rider's going to be pretty fatigued, and then some wind zones at the end. Whew. Some damage will be done by the peloton today. Perhaps we might see a GC rider crash out or get distance. Albert Philipson, the junior for Team Milram, has fallen. He's got a few riders for company. He's not majorly a problem in GC, so not to worry about him. $1K to go. Grossschartner goes once again. The Romo with the acceleration. A late push to the line makes it over in first position.
The pack is reducing the advantage with every turn of the pedal.
The gap is now 6:44. The peloton's doing well to limit the time gap between riders. Category 3 climb now, and these riders aren't really doing too much together. Apologies, a little bit of distraction. 400 meters, Remo takes it ahead of Marie and Groschartner. These 4 riders working well together, the gap's still 2 minutes 30. Now it's 100 k's to go, so Peloton should start reeling in the breakaway a bit more. So that is what typically happens. Here we go, Category 3 climb, so 3 lots of points on offer. Remo, Groschartner, and then Marie. Oi, small splits happening in the peloton. We saw that here. Riders are dropping on the descent, causing some splits to happen. Nothing too major in this second gruppetto. I think maybe Jesper Philipsen is the big loser at the moment. Jonathan Milan there also, but why isn't Red Bull KTM protecting their sprinter? Interesting turn of events. Peter Rukanov, the Russian road race champion, has been forced to close that gap. The breakaway has 5.5 minutes on the peloton. And they've dropped the Polish rider again as Groschartner takes second there. Bim, 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 bim. Final climb of the day, Category 1 climb. Romo should be able to distance these other two quite easily. Yep, Groschartner manages to sneak a second there. The gap to the breakaway is for 5 minutes 20. 57 kilometers. It's 50-50 about whose game it is. In real life it'd be 50-50. In E, attack inside the peloton. Quinn Simmons has attacked with Roman Gregoire. The Plus, Sivakov and Schmid roll up. Interesting. The last climb of the day, a small little sneaky attack trying to get going. It is Team Sky on the front. Josh Tarling, the British time trial champion, closing it down using his release skills as we see a small split in the back of the peloton. Who's sitting at the back? Please don't be Vlasov. Oh, Rukanov, not Vlasov, thank God. Small splits happening on the descent, although I don't think it's going to be too dangerous. Dunbar, Rodriguez, two big losers so far. I mean, it all looks like it's kind of together, to be honest. We'll wait till we get down the hill, I guess, to see what happens. These 5 riders have got a gap of 30 seconds. They're about to hit a wind zone now, as they keep attacking each other. Fall at the back, Norsgaard and Brunner on the ground. Not too major, Sivakov and De Plus, former teammates at Team Ineos Grenadiers. And the 5 riders sit up and they're waiting for the peloton. What a silly attack. Attack over the top and then wait for the peloton. We're in the wind zone. There's 28 kilometers an hour wind from the right. We're expecting small echelons, nothing too major. We see all the riders in the gutter, but Trago losing out. No GC contenders here, it seems. Just riders who are just outside the top 10. Big split here. Niels Pollitt picking Zoli Lipovitz, the stage winner of the previous stage, missing out. But the wind switching slightly cross headwind as will allow these riders to get back into contention with the peloton. Small split could be happening here behind the Roman and Gregoire. The breakaway is only 3 riders, Groschartner, Marie and Romo, and they hold a 3-minute lead. Small splits forcing everyone into the gutter. Ben Healy drops back, means Pidcock must be back here surely. Dunbar's back here. Dunbar could be losing some more time. Gil Martin. Jesper Philipsen is in the front group, as is Groenewegen. Corbin Strong moving backwards. Very, very worse for wear. Pogacar got a few domestic left. Vlasov sitting in his wheel. 23 kilometers to go. A little bit of rest now as we hit the buildings. 12 k's an hour. Perhaps we'll see a rejoining of the peloton. Not quite. Dunbar seems to be losing out as we hit a second wind zone, right? Yeah, we're in the second wind zone now. They have caught up again, but to what disadvantage? Will there be some loss of energy here? Where some of these riders, maybe Dunbar, can sneak into the correct wheel here. And there's a split behind Dunbar, that's correct. The peloton is splitting once again. Meanwhile, there's an attack off the front of the peloton. Morgado has attacked. The Portuguese rider, the breakaway, still has 1 minute 30 seconds. More attacks. Gordu goes. Bilbao, Healy, Bardet, Hirsch, Skelmos. Everyone's going for it. Vlasov's going for it. Alexander Vlasov, the Russian, former wearer of the yellow jersey in this race. He's feeling strong today in the win zone. Hey, he's looking dead. For fuck's sake, man. Why did you go up the road? Caden Groves, the sprinter from T-Mobile Bianchi, is chasing down Vlasov. He, of course, remember, T-Mobile Bianchi rides for Remco Evenepoel. Mads Pedersen for Credit Agricole on the offensive. Evenepoel following now. It's really just everyone for everyone now. 5 kilometers to go. There might be some big splits. Ah, Vlasov's dead, for fuck's sake. Evenepoel in time trial mode on the head of the second bunch. The breakaway still is 1 minute 40. It's going to be a day for the breakaway. I am surprised. I really thought the peloton would have caught them back up. Pidcock jumping across from the Vlasov group up to the very front of the race. We see Romo leads out the sprint. Grossschartner in second wheel. Grossschartner trying to come around on the left-hand side. Grossschartner almost takes it from Romo as Javier Romo for Bora Hansgrohe takes stage 17. Second bunch on the road, the Evenepoel group, Bardet, Pidcock, they're all gaining time. It's all come back together. Mads Pedersen wins the sprint here. But I think all these riders will get the same time. Oh, where the fuck's Vlasov? Oh no, Vlasov's going to lose time. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Well, it was a good stage, kinda. Vlasov just keeps losing time. Will Holmes, last rider on the course. Okay, here's the podium. Javier Romo takes the stage ahead of Grossschartner and Marie from the breakaway. 1 minute 33 ahead of the peloton, led in by Mads Pedersen, Bilbao, Bardet. Tadej Pogačar still leads the overall. Vingegaard, then Evenepoel, Vlasov, Bardet. I don't know what's changed there, but something's changed. I think Jorgensen into the top 10, I want to say. I think that's the change. Grossschartner solidifying his lead in that climber classification. The points classification. Oh, Philipsen gained some points there. He's now 29 points ahead of Milan, and he is 39 points ahead of Mads Pedersen, who gains a lot of points in that stage. Young rider, no change there. Team, no change there. Yes, Jorgensen up. Dunbar falls out of the top 10. Lotto having 2 riders just on the cusp of the top 10. Gordu up to 9th. Points, yeah, Pedersen gained some points, right? Yeah, Pedersen gained 43 points here, and we saw Philipsen gaining 23 points. Interesting. Mountain classification, Romo up to 3rd, but he's still 90 points behind. No real change there. Stage 18. Another medium mountain stage, pretty pan flat, 2 intermediate sprints, and then a punchy hill. Who's got good acceleration? Let's say Richard Carter players will take the stage. Well, the labels are on. We'll wait for a breakaway to establish. Sprinters will be sprinting for the sprint points, but otherwise the hill looks pretty tough at the end, but not too major. It's only 6.1 kilometers long. Let's increase the simulation rate, wait for the breakaway to establish. There's 5 riders up the road, I think that's about right now. Therese de Bont of Red Bull KTM, Boke Mollema of Hogarden Farm Frights, Greg Mulberger of Red Bull KTM, Louis Minkies of Dimension Data, and Eddie Plankart of Quickstep Energetic. Looks like the peloton is not happy with Mollema and de Bont going up the road. That's why the gap is staying at 30 seconds, and it is Team Milram who is not happy with that. They're using Hedeman on the front. We see Steimler now doing some work as well. They have now caught that section of the breakaway and they're easing up. And they're letting the rest of the breakaway, which is Minkies, Plankart and Mulberger, continue. That's a short stage as well. It's only 95k's this stage. 104k's. What a short stage. Geez, 62k's to go. Incoming intermediate sprint point. The gap is 1 minute 20 to the peloton, 1 minute to the peloton. The peloton is catching up significantly as we miss the riders get their sprint ready. For some reason, Milan's doing that, but Phillipson takes first in that points classification and extends his lead over Milan. That was my mistake entirely. Forget this scale of the drawing down here is a bit more, smaller because of the smaller stage. Out in front is Boke Mollema, just by himself, 12 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. 41k, whoa, look at that wind, the wind is strong. Are we expecting some crosswind on the stage at all? Yes, coming into the finish there'll be a little bit of crosswind. 3.6 kilometers to the intermediate sprint point. Here comes Philipsen now on the right hand side of the road. He's got no lead out, he's going for it alone as Bauhaus starts on the left hand side. Where is Milan? Bauhaus is sprinting without Milan, interesting. Philipsen's going to use Bauhaus to launch his sprint. There goes Philipsen. Milan is nowhere, and there's Milan there. Way out of position. Philipsen extends his lead, he's now, 49 points ahead of Milan. Well done to him. As Boke Mollema is caught with 30k's to go. And here we go, 10 kilometers to go on this stage. Short stage, interesting tour there. Maybe give some recovery, some of the riders, but no one's been dropped so far. Everyone's chilling together. 8 kilometers to go. The climb starts at 6.1. Man, this music is shit. Nothing much is happening still. Credit Agricole and Team Milram on the front. There we go, that's more better music. Anyway, on the left hand side is Maxim Van Gils launching the first attack. De Plus, Bilbao, Sivakov, all the riders who are just outside the top 10 doing the pushing there. Whereas Pogacar? There's Vlasov, is sitting in nice and strong. Could be a day for a puncher, maybe Corbin Strong. Skelmos now on the right hand side for Team Milram. The bright blue standing out. Gregoire Hirsch, Roman Bardet launching an attack to get up to the wheels. Marat Schmid, the Swiss national champion for Red Bull KTM. Evenepoel looks dead already. This early on the stage, and Remco Evenepoel's dead. Vlasov, move your fucking ass up the road, man. Bardet is following Rodriguez, but Skelmos is still out in front. Gaudu, the two Frenchmen there. Vingegaard now launching a late attack. Bit small block there by David Gaudu, 2.6 kilometers to the top. The gaining time on everyone, pretty much. Interesting turn of events there. Piganzoli leading the peloton in. Skelmoser looks to be taking the stage. No one's got any energy left to catch him up. 1.2k's to go. Rodriguez on the front, Bardet, Gaudu and Vingegaard. Anyone launch an attack from this bunch here? Not quite. Vlasov is dead. Corbin Strong's got a little bit of energy, but moving up the road, it's still Skelmoser. 300 minutes to go. He celebrates. A great win for the Danish rider. Vingegaard, Rodriguez, Gaudu and Bardet all gaining time on the Pogacar group. 30 seconds at least as Pogacar leads them over the line with Jorgensen. What a uneventful, shitty stage.
The race is run, but the four souls bringing up the rear continue to cross the line. It's a bit of a knock for the morale.
Blasov in 14th, well done to him. Any riders, GC riders getting dropped here? Lopez, Remo, no Bennett, Buggy. No, everyone looks fine. Even the sprinters are fine. Alexander Kristoff and Jorgensen, the last men on the road. Kristoff, the Norwegian, in his final Tour de France, I'm guessing. Now we look at the podium. There we have Skelmoser coming across the line to take the victory. He wins for 18 seconds ahead of Vingegaard, and oh, there were some splits in the Poggi group. Fuck's sake, Vlasov losing more time for far outs. GC Vlasov still in 4th. Bardet, was he in 5th before? I cannot recall. I think it looks pretty similar. Skelmoser might have gone up a few positions. Best climber still Gross Schaffner. Philipsen extending his lead in the green jersey. Remco, ooh, Pidcock has dropped in that classification, I think. And Lotto. I know Vlasov gets the same time as Piggins-Oldie, losing 8 seconds to Poggi only. Yeah, Pidcock drops 2 positions. Rodriguez and Skelmoser both climb above him. No change there, no change there, no change there. Did I take the screenshot of the stage? I did not. Stage 19 looks like a very punchy stage, bit of wind zone, bit of climbs, bit of just everything throwing in there, to be honest. Says Poggi is the favourite. I think says Philipsen might have a go. Ooh. I think Bardet's got it again. Frenchman for the win. That's what I think is going to happen. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's have a look. It's raining. Hopefully there won't be too many crashes with the descents. Hopefully this is a more interesting stage. Apologies if I sound a bit disinterested. It is 9 PM at night. It's been a long day. And I just don't want Vlasov to lose any more time in GC. Because Vlasov, my boy, we need you to do well. Let's speed it up just to get a nice breakaway established. I don't think it's just going to be one rider, is it? It is going to be just one rider at the breakaway. Eddie Blankart for Team Quick Step Energetic. Spacebar, not the alt. There we go, that's what I want to do. Another rider has been joined by Louis Minkies, the South African rider from Dimension Data. Not much in the way of what's going to happen. It's going to be a little bit bumpy, but we're not going to see much action until this third Kerry Cly. Puncture for Mark Donovan. He's back in the peloton. Leading the peloton, Red Bull KTM, Team Sky, Credit Agricole, and Team Bahrain victorious. Bit of a shitey end to the tour. That cobble stage tomorrow is going to be nuts, though. I can tell you already. This is stage 19, right? Yes, it's stage 19. 7 minutes is the advantage to the 100. Jeez, how long is this stage? Bloody hell. 218 Ks, another long stage in the Tour de France. How great. This late in the tour is really just going to ruin everyone's just everything. 10 kilometers to the KOM point. How many points on offer? 6 to first. Puncture for Virtue for Team Quick Step Energetic. He's back in the peloton. They're sprinting for 90 points? No, Minkies takes first. No one really cares about that. Let's have a look in the peloton. Will we see anyone come up for that? puncture for Mauro Schmid, one of the favourites for the stage, the Swiss national champion. No one sprinted for those mountain points, and he is being distanced over the undulating terrain. And he's back in the peloton. We're about to hit a wind zone puncture for Jorgensen. He's not important. Wind zone, slight crosswind to be honest, but not doing much to the small group. What's it doing to the peloton? It's stretching it out 17 k's an hour. No real damage done to them.
They're moving along at a fair lick. You just gotta hang on.
I think most damage is going to happen on these smaller climbs here with the wind zones in the climb as well. Anyway, let's continue that simulation speed. A few more wind zones, we'll fast forward through them because I don't think anything's going to happen. Look at this nice beautiful terrain, nice wooded area. Followed by Niels Pollitt. Looks like a few riders on the ground. Ooh, a few riders are on the ground. Dox and Pollitt. Pollitt looks to be pulling out of the stage. There's 2 DNFs. Get those names into the DNF thing ready, because this is 19, right? Niels Pollitt, which is at T-Mobile. And well, unlike for these riders, 10 riders up the road who were also kept up by that crash. Van Hoyke, Bjerg, Hedeman, Pezenti. Everyone's all back together there. Keep the simulation rate happening. Very small splits happening in the peloton over these hills. It's just riders dropping. The wheel is Virtue once again. Who is caught up in this? No one important. Just domestics for the GC contenders. Kills, 72 kilometers to go. Nothing, like I said, nothing much happening here. Apologies, lads. Just keeping up with the terrain. Heading back over. Apologies, got a message had to reply to. Eddie Plancart and Minky still out in front. This time it's a bit of everyone joining in the chase. Credit Agricole, Netherlands Lottery, Lotto, Red Bull KTM, Bahrain victorious. Here we come with those small hills. 52k to 52. Oh, it's a long stage. Yeah, Grossreitner still leading that. No change in that classification as expected, but we are seeing the splits beginning to form now. Riders in this bunch, Riccatello there, Heidemann's there, Jorgensen, Uterbrooks, who was good in the first few weeks if we recall. Second bunch, the Godot group, is losing contact. Moschetti and Muller are here on the back of this bunch. There's a wind zone of 44 kilometers an hour from the left hand side. Holy hell. It's a big echelon that's going to form. Interesting. The riders being distanced by that echelon, they kind of are. Miller's gone. Steinhauser, George Bennett, they're all fighting for the wheel. They're all tucked in. Milan's trying to keep up. Lots of splits happening. Oh, From Hajduk, the Polish rider has been dropped. Meanwhile, it's still Minkies and Plankart out in front. Another split happening in the peloton. The wheel being dropped by Mikael Bjerg. All the GC top 10 are in the front bunch. They're keeping themselves safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who's missing? Someone's missing. Jorgensen. He's 10, but he's in the white colour. That explains it. The group's almost back together. Still small splits happening. The question is this too far out from the finish line, and will it all come back together? I think it will, as the pace is just quite slow on this next climb. No one in the peloton wants to push the pace. "30 kilometers to go for these races. A bit more of undulating terrain, might cause some more gaps on the descents, but nothing too strenuous, just domestics really. GC riders all keeping safe in the peloton. The wind has died back. Pogačar's still in the lead for this tour. Gap to the breakaway now is 1 minute. Till Plankart and Minkies out in front. Red Bull KTM, not sure who they're working for, to be honest. Mikhail Kwiatkowski there on the offensive. 13 k's to go. We'll slow it right down to ×1. There's still that big split in the peloton. Sivakov is losing significant time. Lopez, all those riders who are just outside the top 10, their GC time is disappearing. Now looking at this, it's going to be a little bit of a steep at the start, a little bit of plateau in the middle, and then steep again. Well, the breakaway is not going to make it. Louis Minkies and Eddie Plankart will not make it to the line. We can see Minkies is already looking a little bit dead as he is dropped by Plankart in that corner. But Trigo moves himself to the front for Team Bahrain victorious. We see Glog moving back at the peloton to protect their rider, Ben Healy. Why did none of my mountain domestics protect Vlasov as Vingegaard attacks on the right hand side? The Danish rider going for an early long attack. The breakaway has been caught, so it's just him out in front against the world. But Trigo, Lipovic and Pogačar are the first to react. Where's Vlasov? He's moved himself up the peloton. Bardet is up there. Pidcock, all the top GC men are still there. Vingegaard has been caught. Ben Turner is the rider to have caught him. Mulberger now on the front. Jasper Philipsen is still here, hiding behind the train of Milan. Will it be a sprinter to take the stage? It seems like it could be. Jonathan Milan going for another sprint win in this tour. Grossschartner, the mountain jersey, leading out the sprint jersey. Interesting turn of events here in France. I thought it'd be more of a GC kind of day. Will we see Pogačar? Pogačar launches first. Philipsen not even trying. What the hell? On the left hand side, Victor Campenaerts, a late push to the line. Corbin Strong going to take second in that stage, third in that stage for Corbin Strong, but Victor Campenaerts of Lotto takes the win ahead of Jasper Philipsen. God knows what the hell happened there. Mickey Mouse ending to stage 19 of the tour. Last rider on the course is Will Holmes again for Team Dimension Data. Oh, Milan died 1.3 Ks. That makes sense. Here we have the podium. Victor Campenaerts takes a sprint ahead of Jasper Philipsen, Corbin Strong, Mads Pedersen, Tadej Pogačar. Look at that star-studded line-out. And Vlasov in 10th. Poggy's still in the lead. I don't think there's any real changes there. No changes in the mountain. Pedersen extends his lead over... No, Philipsen extends his lead over Pedersen. Milan drops to third. Yves Nepal in youth and Lotto in teams. In his splits, first split has with Lewis Barr, Ioannis Guerra. So really domestic, so the ones that losing out, of course, we think about Aaron Dox and Niels Pollitt. GC, small changes to plus down, Lipovic up. Points, of course, we see Pedersen overtake Milan. Mountain, no change. Youth, no change. Team HTC High Road overtaking Team Mobile Bianchi again. So, stage 20, Cobble stage. Pedersen's the favourite, Pogacar second. I'm going to say Ben Turner. Team Sky needs another stage win here. Yeah, it was a shame. I wish Milan took it, man. Milan needs to... He's a great sprinter, but he's not going for the intermediate sprints. That's his problem currently. And here we have it, the penultimate stage of the tour. Let's open up the map and let's see how tricky these cobble sectors are going to be. 3-star, 4-star cobble sectors. This could cause 5-star cobble sector, 2 5-star cobble sector, 3 5-star. This is going to cause some damage in the GC. That's going to be pretty shitty, not going to lie. Let's have a look at the GC. Who has got good cobble? Poggy does. Vingegaard has 68. Remco 67, Vlasov 68, Bardet 71, Rodriguez 79, Skelmoser 67, Pidcock 75, Gaudu 66, 76, from Jorgensen, Dunbar 63, could be losing a bit of time, Carapaz 66, Lipovic 63. So 50-50 is going to cause some riders to absolutely crash out of the GC, but it looks like most of the proper GC contenders have got similar stat. In the breakaway today, it is Will Holmes, Alex Baudin, and Arns from Hogarth and Farm Frights. Just clear paddocks, one intermediate sprint and one finish line sprint, really. Just going to wait till the cobbles. Intermediate sprint. Baudin takes maximum points there, back in the peloton. Bahrain victorious on the front, pushing the pace for Jonathan Milan. We see him sitting up behind Bauhaus. They need to get out of the wheel of Philipsen here. A little bit of blocking going on, 4.3 kilometers to go. Fuglsang moving up on the left-hand side. There's Gamper now for Red Bull KTM for Jesper Philipsen. Bauhaus on the right-hand side. 2.4 k's to go. Who's going to launch for it? There we go. Bauhaus on the left with Milan in the wheel. De Bont with Philipsen trying to get in just behind. Milan launches Philipsen from behind. Milan by a long shot, taking it ahead of Philipsen. But of course, that's only 2 points difference between the two of them. Meaning not much of a touche to Arenberger's last cobble sector was crazy. Mate. This is going to be a mucky race, we know that already. Like, cobbles in the Tour de France, especially this late in the game. Super unlucky. Breakaway's got 9 minutes 30. Will they stay away? Doesn't matter if they do, because they're so far down in GC. I agree. I mean, Milan's won a few stages, but you're right, he needs to go for the intermediate sprint. When he was close with Philipsen, it was going to be a close race, but it's not anymore because Philipsen's actually the only one going for it. It's a bit unlucky. I think Milan could take this stage, right? Surely. What is Milan's cobble? 75, Philipsen 78 though. 50-50 to be honest. 12 minutes is the gap for the breakaway, and it's only increasing. Peloton is speeding up, but not too much. Cobbles will sort them in from the boys though. Head up the road to the breakaway as they're about to hit the first cobble sector of the race. It's a 5-star cobble sector for 3.8 kilometers. Jesus, it's already dropping Holmes from the breakaway. His lead to the peloton is just diminishing. He's losing a minute already, 2 minutes. Peloton's gaining on him. Alexi Baudin has been dropped from Arns in the breakaway. A little bit of time to recover. Maybe Holmes can get back into that breakaway. Peloton now. Ooh, lots of punctures for riders. Holy shit. Lipovic with a puncture. I saw Mark Hirsch with a pincher. Virtue with a pincher. There could be a small split happening on here. There is a split. Brenner has had something happen to him. Lopez with the Brooks already. Riders being distanced. Lipovitz with that puncture at a poor time. Vlasov, no. Vlasov, move up the peloton, buddy. Actually, I'm gonna Alt F4 if this, like, if Vlasov dies on one of these cobble sectors. But some big gaps opening up with domestics already out the door. Heading back up to the breakaway, 11k's up the road. Are they heading into the next cobble sector? I think they are. This cobble sector is a short one. Thank goodness for that. Another 5-star sector though. Bloody hell. Holmes distanced right away again. Let's head back to the peloton and see how the peloton deals with it. Pierre Latour on the front for Team Credit Agricole. Vlasov finds himself back at the front of the peloton. Vogelsang protecting him. Is a 4-star segment. I think. There's a lot of segments. Basically, it's a pretty shitty race now. Small little segment there, not really doing too much damage to the peloton. A few riders are dropping backwards. Even the pole looking a little bit worse for wear. Muschetti. Man, I swear, man, the cobblestones, like, I can't ride them in PCM. My riders can't ride them in the sim game. Oh, what a shitty stage. Anyway, Holmes still has a 6-minute lead on the peloton as the breakaway continues. Let's get a time gap from Arns because he's got cobble all the way to Pogacar. Bloody hell, please don't drop Vlasov. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 segments more to go for the peloton. Speed up simulation here in between segments. We don't really care about the breakaway as of yet. Wait, who is that? Someone just fell back through the peloton. With a puncture. Was that Bardet? I think it may have been Roman Bardet with a puncture. As he is severely out of position, he needs to move himself back up to the front or he could risk being dropped. The peloton just seems really content going, I say slow, but they're going 51 kilometers an hour. Oops, might get crashed, yeah. Nah, fam, you know that if Vlasov drops, like, and then it crashes, it's ugh. Still credit Agricole and the team member boys. Vector Campanats, is he going for a second stage? But he's attacking away from the peloton. Brian Coccardis here increasing his speed to catch him. No, but Dries de Bont and Jasper Philipsen moving up on the left-hand side. Interesting move by Red Bull KTM. Will Holmes is coming into view now for the peloton. Philipsen did go, but now it is Pesca Inghorn for Red Bull KTM on the offensive. Florian Vermeesch with him also. This is the last cobble sector for a while. It's a reasonably long one. Here's my boy Vlasov. There he is there. He's in the pack. No one here seems to be doing too much now. He puncture for one of Pidcock's domestic, Axel Laurence, as a puncture as well. He didn't see nothing. Breakaway is 6 minutes 45. It's 50-50 whether the breakaway makes it. We'll speed up the simulation just a little bit as we get head on down. You know what would suck for this race right here, right? Philipsen's on the offensive for some reason. Is if they had a wind sector between these two cobble sectors here. That would make me cry. Because then all the teams with lots of domestics would just roll to the front. The riders already struggling for the cobbles, and then it's just into the crosswind, absolutely hammered. Tarling, Vermeesch and Campanats trying something now. Campanats gives up to give Vermeesch a go. Puncture and A13. Peloton is 76 riders, 11 kilometers to go. We're at the final 2.8 kilometer cobble sector of the day, the longest of the day in fact, I think. Longest difficult one. We see riders falling back through the peloton. Carboni with 63. Jonathan Milan with a badly timed puncture. Horrendously timed puncture. He finds himself 3 groups back on the road. Pascal Incon with a puncture. Phillipson attacks on the front. Please don't have a puncture. Where the fuck's Vlasov? Vlasov, my boy. Oh, you're dead, Vlasov. Please recover. Shit, the Aramis has gone solo for Team Hogarden Farm Frights. 3.7 Ks to go. Vermeesh, Tarling and Bolden coming along, and Jesper Philipsen with a solo effort ahead of the Pedersen-led peloton. Yeah, it didn't do as much damage as I thought it would, to be honest. To be honest, I thought the cobbles would do more damage to the GC contenders, but I think mixed with those those wind zones, it would have been raised havocs. But well done to Arns of Norway with the stage win. And I see you've just reacted to Milan crashing out, or puncturing out. Philipsen is going to take second on the stage, is he? Third behind Vermeesh. And the peloton's been led in by Mads Pedersen. Please hope no one dropped here. My boy Vlasov's still in there, thank goodness. Let's head right down the road. Who's having the most fun on the cobbles? This rider here is. He's got 61 cobbles. Look at him, he's slowing right down to 15 kilometers an hour. Hey, the only good news is, right, only one. That game crash would be nice now. Sorry, buddy. Here we go, podium of the race. Oh, look at that great jersey for Hogarden Farm Frights. Why is that jersey doing that? Anyway, Daniel Arns takes the stage ahead of Florian Vermeesh. Tadej Pogacar still in the lead. I think there's no changes there. Grosschartner pretty much won the mountain classification. Philipsen winning that points classification. He is 125 points ahead of Milan. Remco with the white and Lotto with the teams. Carapaz, oh, who's dropped? Dunbar lost a lot of time today, did he? Oh. Oh well. Looks like he did. Dunbar losing 6 positions in GC for Lotto. Lotto's best placed rider Maxim Van Heels up to 16th. Carapaz up to 11th, 3 minutes outside the top 10. No change in points. Philipsen will leading that. Grosschartner in the KOM. Evenepoel in the youth, and team is Lotto. The final stage of the Tour de France, the Champs-Élysées stage. It says it's a cobble stage, but it's not really. We all know it's a pure sprint stage. 1 intermediate sprint, and of course the final sprint of the day. There's 80 points on offer, which means that, barring no crashes, Philipsen has won the points classification, and of course Grosschartner has won the mountain classification. Will there be some GC splits? Highly unlikely, but who's going to take victory on the Champs-Élysées in Paris? That's what the question of the day is. What's the answer? Who knows? Let's get our riders all set up here with the name tags. Let's have a look. We're going to start in Paris. Look at all the spectators. They aren't even clapping. There's a small breakaway on the offensive already. Look at the map. Now we start at Hoods. We then small cobble sector somewhere. Actually, there's no actual cobble sector in the race. It just says there's a cobble sector on the side there. Cool. And then we do the Champs-Élysées sprint lap. 37 seconds is the advantage that the breakaway has. It is Anderson from Quickstep Arns, the previous winner from Hogarden Farm Frights, and Van Niekerk. Yeah, I mean, Team Sky's done pretty good, to be honest. You are correct. Pidcock in 8th, Healy in 12th. Well done to them. I'm just happy to piss my boy Vlasov fell off the podium. But to be honest, when you're versing these monsters, it just makes sense, right? even the pole, Vingagor and Pogacar. 2 minutes is the advantage. We'll speed up the simulation, get to the intermediate sprint, and then we'll get through to the final sprint of the Tour of France on the Champs-Élysées. There is the Eiffel Tower on the right hand side, a landmark here in Paris, of course, and the Arc de Triomphe at the other end, right? Am I correct in that? Yes, the Arc de Triomphe. Puncture for Hugo Hofstetter, one of the favourites for the stage. Arkea VNB are all going back to help him out. Up the front, 900 metres to the intermediate sprint. Oh, how good. I don't have the finishing line banner. Well, there's the banner there, looking back in the peloton. Who's sprinting for it? Philipsen goes for the points. Vlasov, winner of the normal guys. Yeah. Geez, Milan doesn't even go for these points here. Vlasov's going for the points for some reason, is he? Oh well, anyway. Heading into the laps of the course around the Arc de Triomphe. Pretty annoyed that there's no finishing banner, but that's just how it is. Gap is 1:30, the breakaway is still working well together, but the peloton is working even better. Team HTC, high roads for Tim Merlier. Haven't seen Merlier up in a sprint in a while, but then again we haven't had a proper sprint in a while. Of course, Bahrain on the front for Milan, and Red Bull KTM for Philipsen, the three sprinter giants. No French sprinter. Hugo Hofstetter. I would love to see Hofstetter win on the stage. A Frenchman on the Champs-Élysées. Wouldn't that just be brilliant? All coming back together. 44 kilometers to go. A few more laps. 2 laps of this course to go. Slight bit of wind. Nothing. Well, not pause. Nothing too major there. Here we go. Final lap now. Will we see some action from the sprinters? Let's slow it down to ×1. 22 kilometers to go. Grossreitner seems to be starting the sprint train on the left-hand side for Red Bull KTM. He's got Gamper as well, Cavagna, Mauro Schmid, but where is their sprinter? Jasper Philipsen. There he is there. Grossreitner has done his job getting the sprint train into position. Groenewegen behind Bussato already with 20 Ks to go. That's a bit early if you ask me. Looking at the side-on view here for Red Bull KTM, Pedersen in the middle of the mix, the former world champion. Jonathan Milan there also. Former French champion, Cavagna, that's what he is. Wow, look at the riders go. I'm only doing this because it's like 17 Ks to go. That's why I can be all silly with the camera like this. Mark Donovan, what's he doing up in the front? Who's he putting in position? Because it's obviously not the... Oh, there's Moschetti there for Team Mapai GB, my beautiful team with my beautiful jersey. Philipsen in the green jersey. I liked it better when the green jersey was the lighter green, but hey, there's Tim Merlier, the current European road race champion. He's moving into position with his HTC train being swamped by the Red Bull KTM terrain. Let's zoom out the camera with 10 kilometers to go. We're just about to go through the tunnel once again. Final stage of the race. Sprint trains are very uneven now. I mean, Red Bull KTM's on the front, but where is their sprinter? There it is, Jasper Philipsen through the middle. Credit Agricole of Tadej Pogacar in the middle. They're moving Pogacar into position. Where is Mads Pedersen? We're on top of the bridge, not underneath. We're missing out, seeing what's happening in the tunnel. Vlasov sitting in behind Jakob Fuglsang, keeping safe and out of trouble. No one really pushed the pace too hard there. Mark Donovan's just chilling in the middle of this group here. He's upsetting the HTC train. The left-hand side, we've got the Philipsen train. Groves is sitting behind Billins and Deli on the right-hand side. There's Moschetti now through the middle. Jonathan Milan with a few lead-out. Le Cerf starts his lead-out. Bauhaus, the best lead-out man in this tour. Anytime Bauhaus goes, you know it's a guaranteed one for Milan. 2 Ks to go. Bauhaus needs to launch now. There goes Bauhaus. No one else can keep up with them. Milan is about to go on the right hand side. Caught Nielsen though. Muller is late to push. Milan the first to sprint, but Casper van Uden on the left hand side, the team Milram leader, takes the win off Jonathan Milan, stolen at the final moment. Small splits in the peloton behind this. Hope there's no one important. Uta Brooks, Seneschal, Kryakovsky, Groschatter, Mulberger, Cavania, all the lead-out men for the big sprinters. It's a bit of a shame there. Well, it's a bit of a shame there's no no banner there. But anyway, here's the final stage podium. Casper van Uden wins the Champs-Élysées stage of the Tour de France for Team Milram. Well done to him. Bit of a shame his jersey's not working. Tadej Pogacar wins the Tour de France ahead of Jonas Vingegaard 2 minutes 24, then back to Remco 5:30, and Vlasov, as Kobe says, the best of the non-superhumans 7:50. Bardet, Rodriguez, Skelmoser, Pidcock, Godu, and Matteo Jorgensen. Grobschartner did well. I think Red Bull KTM had the KOM jersey most of the race. After, of course, they did the silly mistake of sending all their riders back for Philipsen on that early non-sprint stage. They've done well to bounce back with the King of the Mountain jersey. And of course, Philipsen in the green jersey. So 2 jerseys there for Red Bull KTM. Well done to them. Pedersen not even close, 129 points behind. Milan missing out on the win today, which would have got him into second in that classification. Cheers, man. Appreciate you. I enjoyed commentating. Timo Bianchi's Remco even the pole. He spent a few days in yellow early in the stage, if we remember. He then wins that white jersey competition. And the team should still be Team Lotto, right? Please don't crash. Please don't crash. There we go. Team Lotto takes the team classification. And there we have it, the end to a fabulous Tour of France. Some highs, some lows. As a pro Conti team, I am happy with our performance in this race. The stage went in a yellow jersey for Alexander Vlasov. But here we have it, Tadej Pogacar takes the GC lead, wins the GC of the Tour of France. Let's do top 60, because it is the Tour of France, of course. Big time gaps here. A few riders just not in the greatest of places. Jesper Philipsen takes home that green jersey for Red Bull KTM. Top 40 in his auxiliary. Where did Moschetti finish? Not even there. Anyway, Mountain, Groschattner took that. Absolute domination by the rider from Red Bull KTM. Young rider, of course, Evenepoel. I'll just do top 20 because time is just a bit silly there. And team classification, of course. Well done to Lotto. Anyway, thanks for joining in on our amazing journey. I might go through some of the stats a bit later on after the stage, but not now in the stream. So, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your days, you Europeans. Thanks for tuning in. Ka-chow.